"Hey, listen, I don't need to hear any more foolish talk about ghosts," said Jerry Frieden with a dusty slap against his thigh. "Dr. Cooper's entrusted this task to us, and I say we just get at it." "Nobody's talking about ghosts," Bill White drawled from under the brim of his hat. "We just don't want anyone to get hurt," Jeff Brannigan tried to explain, "and that goes especially for you." The three men stood in the middle of an archaeological excavation in a small and narrow valley surrounded by rocky hills. They were wearing brown dust like a uniform. The hot noonday sun was baking their backs. Slow-talking Bill White was the team leader in the absence of their boss, Dr. Jake Cooper. Big Jeff Brannigan was the equipment specialist. Jerry Frieden was the first-time tag-along youthful upstart with more ambition than common sense. Their heated discussion was taking place around a man-sized, seemingly bottomless hole in the ground, a hole that hadn't been there 10 minutes ago. "Listen, this is something extraordinary. It could tell us something we never knew about the ancient Philistines." "Maybe," said Jeff, not too enthusiastically. "Well?" Jerry couldn't believe how these guys were dragging their feet. "An incredible archaeological find opens up right in front of us, and you guys are just going to stand there?" "Well, now, just what interest would you have in archaeology? Aren't you and your money-minded bosses interested in something else that might be down there?" "I'll say we wait until the doc gets back," said Bill with a shake of his head. "Just isn't worth the risk, Jerry," Jeff agreed. Jerry only grabbed the rope he'd secured to their portable winch and stepped toward the hole. "Suit yourselves. This discovery's going to be all mine." Bill put a firm hand on Jerry's shoulder. "Listen, you have no idea what's down there. We don't even know where this hole came from." Jerry only sneered at him. "Spooks, Mr. White, remember?" Jeff had heard enough of Jerry's taunting. "Now listen here, Mr. Frieden, sir. We're letting you tag along because the big bosses want you here, but you haven't been out on a lot of digs like we have. Most legends are just talk, sure, but behind every one of them there's a little bit of truth, and it's wise to pay attention to everything you hear." "Well," said Jerry, tying the rope around his waist, "I'll buy the stuff we heard about ancient tombs being here. That makes plenty of sense." "Oh, yeah, but you're forgetting the ghost haunting this place?" "No, sir, Mr. Brannigan. That's where I draw the line." "Not a ghost, you stubborn youngster. That's what the locals talk about, but it could be traps, snares, vipers. Listen, people have been hurt in this place. Dr. Cooper would know more about what to expect down there. Are you two going to lower me down, or do I have to do it myself?" Jeff and Bill looked at each other, and both were sick to death of arguing with this kid. With sighs and shrugs, Jeff manned the winch and started uncranking the rope as Bill helped Jerry move carefully down into the narrow hole. "You be careful now, son," Jeff cautioned. "Where's your light?" Bill demanded. Jerry resented the question. "On my belt, Mr. White. Don't worry about it." "I still have a bad feeling about this," Bill muttered. Jeff made slow, steady turns on the winch as Jerry worked his way into the hole, one groping foothold at a time, disappearing from the waist down, then the chest, then the head, and finally the hat. Bill stood at the brink of the hole, feeding the rope down and peering after the cocky explorer. "Get that light on," he called. All right," came the echoing answer. Jeff let out more and more rope, and soon Bill could see nothing in the shaft but the occasional sweep of Jerry's flashlight beam. "How deep is this thing?" Bill wondered. "I've let out 40 feet of line," answered Jeff. Bill hollered down the shaft. "Jerry, can you see the bottom?" Jerry's voice sounded miles away as he called back, "Yeah, I think so." "Hey, you guys are going to like this. There's a room down here, and—" The voice stopped abruptly, and Bill couldn't see the flashlight beam at all now. The rope quivered. "Jerry?" The rope was still shaking as if it had hooked a fighting fish. "Jerry!" Bill heard a scream, some rocks tumbling and clunking, another shrill cry. "Jerry!" Bill yelled again. He shouted to Jeff, "Haul him up, quick!"